I had always believed that love, once given sincerely, carved its place in a person's life like engraving on stone, permanent, deep, and impossible to erase. I believed that when two people promised loyalty, they meant every syllable of it. I believed in him. I believed in us. And for the longest time, I believed he believed too. But everything I thought I knew about love, faith and trust collapsed the night I learned the truth. The night he turned me into the villain in the story. He had written with lies. I still remember the first time I saw him. It wasn't dramatic, no cinematic spotlight or magical soundtrack. It was just a crowded university cafe, a noisy place where people argued about grades, deadlines, and whether the food was even edible. He walked in with this careless charm, the kind that made people look twice without understanding why. He wasn't the most handsome guy in the room, but he had a presence, calm yet confident, soft-spoken yet magnetic. When our eyes met by accident, he smiled like he already knew I would matter to him, and maybe I did. Maybe that's why betraying me felt so easy for him. Maybe people break what they know they can replace. He approached me casually, asked if he could sit, pretending there were no empty chairs anywhere else. I let him. I shouldn't have. But life never reveals the consequences of the little moments until they blow up years later. Our conversations turned into daily meetings into long walks into late-night calls, and late-night calls into whispered promises of forever. Everything felt natural, effortless, like we had been waiting to meet each other. He always said I was the calm in his storm. For him, I tried to be. For myself, I should have been the storm. Months turned into years. We survived exams, stress, misunderstandings, insecurities, all the things relationships usually crash under. And I thought we were strong. I thought we were unbreakable. He never raised his voice, never ignored my texts, never made me doubt him. Until the day he did, and did it so smoothly it left no trace of who he used to be. The first sign wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. A shift so small I almost convinced myself it didn't exist. He started replying slower. Not too slow, just slow enough to bother me, but not slow enough to accuse him of anything. Then came the excuses. I'm tired. I'm busy. I'll talk. Later. Don't overthink. Those 4 words, don't overthink, became his shield, his weapon, and his way of making me feel guilty for simply wanting honesty. I brushed it off because love teaches you to forgive before something is even wrong. But love shouldn't have to be Sherlock Holmes, hunting clues in conversations and decoding unusual patterns. Love should feel like truth, not investigation. One night, my phone buzzed with a message from a girl I barely knew. Her name was Sarah. She wasn't close to me, not even a friend of a friend. Her message was short. I think you should know what your boyfriend has been doing. My heart didn't break right then. It paused, froze, because deep inside, I already knew something was wrong, something I had avoided facing. It's strange how instincts whisper the truth long before evidence arrives. I replied, asking what she meant. She sent screenshots, conversations, photos, messages. Between my boyfriend and another girl, late-night flirting, secret meetups, promises he once made to me now given generously to someone else. Each screenshot felt like a knife, sharp and merciless, cutting through years of trust in seconds. I stared at them for a long time, my throat tight, my mind empty. Anger didn't come first. Neither did sadness. Just disbelief. Like I was watching someone else's life shatter from a distance. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He didn't even look surprised. He stared at me with the calmness of a man who had rehearsed his lines long before the final act. He tried to twist everything, to make it look like I was overreacting, like the girl had misunderstood, like the screenshots were incomplete. But when I showed him the full conversations, his excuses collapsed. That was when he said the words I will never forget. You pushed me away. You made me feel unwanted. This wouldn't have happened if you were better to me. In that moment, the man I loved died. He became a stranger standing in front of me, blaming me for a wound he inflicted. He cheated, but I was the cause. He lied, but I was the reason. He betrayed me, but somehow I was at fault. I walked away that night. Not because I was weak, but because staying would have meant letting him rewrite reality. And I couldn't let him turn my heartache into a justification for his betrayal. I thought ending it would end the nightmare, but I was wrong. That was only the beginning. 2 weeks later, people started avoiding me, not directly, but slowly. Friends who used to call daily went silent. Mutual classmates gave me strange looks. Whispers followed me in hallways, the kind that stop when you get close. I tried to ignore it, but eventually rumors reached me. He was telling people I was toxic, that I was controlling, that I didn't let him talk to anyone, that I never trusted him, that I fought without reason, that I was insecure and dramatic. He told them I broke up with him because I was paranoid, that I misunderstood everything, and that he never cheated, that I only imagined things. And people believed him. He cried in front of them. He acted heartbroken. He played the victim while I became the villain. It's easy to turn a girl into the antagonist. Society has already built the script. A jealous girlfriend, a possessive partner, an unstable woman. All he had to do was give them a story that matched their expectations. And suddenly the truth became irrelevant. Meanwhile, I stayed quiet. I didn't show screenshots, didn't expose him, didn't defend myself loudly, because I still had old love sitting somewhere inside me, foolishly hoping he would come clean or at least stop painting me as the monster in his fairy tale of false innocence. But he didn't stop. He went further. He told his friends I cheated. He told his family I lied. He told strangers I ruined his mental peace. In his new narrative, he was the hero who survived a toxic relationship. And I was the poison he bravely escaped. I became the villain in his story, not because I was wrong, but because he needed someone to blame for what he had done. It hurt. It burned in ways I never imagined pain could burn. Not only did he shatter my trust, he stole my truth. Each rumor, each lie, each twisted detail felt like another betrayal layered on top of the first. But pain doesn't stay pain forever. Eventually, it transforms into strength or into revenge. I chose strength. Revenge wasn't worth my soul. He had already stolen enough. For weeks, I stayed silent. Let people say what they wanted. Let him enjoy the sympathy he crafted. I watched from a distance as he performed his victimhood like it was theater, and the world applauded. And in that silence, I rebuilt myself. One day, when I finally felt ready, I posted the truth. Not with anger, not with insults. I wrote a calm, clear message. I stayed quiet out of respect. But silence should not be mistaken for guilt. Here's the truth. I attached the screenshots, not to ruin him, but to reclaim myself. I didn't exaggerate, didn't curse him, didn't dramatize anything. I wrote what happened exactly as it happened. People were shocked. The same people who believed him now realized he had manipulated them. The mask cracked, the truth spilled. And suddenly the villain in his story became the hero of my own. He tried to defend himself, but lies collapse when the truth stands with evidence. His friends distanced themselves. His reputation fell apart. And for once, I didn't feel guilty for clearing my name. I didn't feel guilty for protecting my truth. Healing wasn't instant. It didn't come with closure or apologies. He never apologized, not sincerely. People like him apologize only when they want something. And I no longer had anything to give. But healing did come slowly. Through understanding that I didn't lose him, he lost me. He lost someone who loved him genuinely. Someone who trusted him blindly. Someone who believed in him wholeheartedly. I learned that sometimes being the villain in someone else's story simply means they couldn't handle being the villain in their own. He cheated. I walked away. He lied. I stayed silent. He played the victim. I grew stronger. That was the real story, not his version. Not the one he dramatized to save his ego. But the truth that always finds its way out eventually. Today, when I think of him, I don't feel anger anymore. I feel nothing. And that nothingness is the most peaceful feeling I've ever known. Because forgetting someone isn't the victory. Feeling nothing when their name comes up, that's the real freedom. He cheated, and now I'm the villain in his story. But in mine, I'm the survivor. I'm the narrator. I'm the hero. And my story is just beginning.